It was just another Thursday. Raining, cold. I had just finished my shift at the diner and was walking to the bus stop like I always do. Same route, same bench, same empty road. Except this time, someone else was there. A man, standing in the rain, facing the road. He didn't have an umbrella, didn't have a jacket, didn't flinch when the water hit him. He just stood there, completely still, like a statue left behind. As I got closer, I nodded politely. He didn't look at me, didn't move, didn't blink. I sat at the far end of the bench and pulled my hood tighter. It was too late to walk home and too dark to feel safe anywhere else. We waited in silence. 1 minute, then 5, then 10. The man still hadn't blinked. His eyes were wide open, locked on the road like he was expecting something terrible to arrive. I glanced at him again. That's when I noticed it. His clothes were wrong. Not just old, but old-fashioned. Heavy wool coat, worn leather shoes. A shirt buttoned to the very top, tight against his throat, almost like someone had dressed him, not like he chose it himself. And then there was his skin. It looked gray, not pale, not sick, just wrong, like wax, like he hadn't moved in days. And then something else. He wasn't getting wet. The rain hit the sidewalk, hit the bench, hit me, but not him. He was dry, completely. Even the pavement under him was untouched. That's when the fear started to crawl in. A slow awareness. A cold rising in my chest like smoke. I checked my phone, 6:31 p.m. I stood up slowly, and then he turned. Not all at once. First his head, then his body, and finally his eyes. They locked on mine. And in that moment, I knew I'd seen him before, a week ago, late at night, in my bedroom window. I thought it was a shadow, a reflection. I told myself I was tired, but it was him. Same coat, same eyes, same stare. And now he was here, watching, waiting. My chest got tight. My ears started ringing. I stepped back toward the curb. And then the bus pulled up. I didn't look at him again. I jumped on and sat in the very back. Didn't speak, didn't blink, didn't even breathe. Right until 3 stops later. The whole ride, I stared out the window, trying to shake the feeling that he wasn't a stranger. Trying to convince myself that I didn't recognize him from somewhere deeper. But deep down, I knew. I didn't sleep that night. Every noise outside felt too loud, too close. I kept checking the window, turning off the lights, turning them back on again. At one point, I swear I saw him again, standing by the tree line, facing my apartment. But when I blinked, he was gone. The next day, I called out of work. Didn't leave my apartment, didn't open the blinds, didn't answer my phone. But at exactly 6:47 p.m., my phone buzzed. It was a text from an unknown number. It said, "You forgot something." I froze. I hadn't told anyone, hadn't posted anything. No one should have known. Then there was a knock, not loud, just one knock. Sharp, intentional. I stood there, frozen. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I was going to pass out. I pressed my eye to the peephole. No one. But the hallway light flickered. Once. Then again I waited, then called the police. They arrived 15 minutes later, 2 officers. Calm, confused, they did a sweep of the building, no footprints, no water trail, no sign of a break-in, but something was inside. Sitting in the middle of my living room was a folded wool coat, soaking wet. I didn't own it, had never seen it before, but the floor beneath it was soaked, like it had been dripping for hours. The smell of rain filled the room, sharp, metallic, and underneath it, something else, like mold, like rot. One of the officers picked up the coat and made a face. Said it was freezing cold. Said it smelled like it came from underground. They filed a report, told me to lock my doors. They didn't have any answers. That night, I dreamed of the man, but not standing in the rain. I saw him sitting at my kitchen table, reading something. It was my name, over and over again, written in red. I moved out 2 days later, switched apartments, switched jobs, changed my number. Didn't even tell my friends where I went. Life went on, kind of. But some nights, at 6:47 p.m., I still get a text. Same number, same message. You forgot something. And I always wonder, what did I forget? A name? A place? A moment I was supposed to notice but didn't? Maybe I left a piece of myself behind that night. Maybe something followed me home. Maybe it never cared about the bench. Until tonight. Tonight, I checked my phone. There was a second message. I never left. And then I heard it. A drip, then another, coming from the hallway. I got up slowly, turned the corner, and froze. There he was, sitting on my couch, dry, smiling, staring. His shoes were leaving puddles on the carpet. His coat was still dripping, but his face was calm, too calm, like he'd always been here, like he never left. And even now, he still hasn't blinked. Story 2, I was babysitting, but the baby wasn't the problem. It was supposed to be an easy $80, quiet neighborhood, baby already asleep. The mom smiled, handed me the monitor, and said, "You won't need to do much, she never wakes up." The dad, though, he didn't smile, didn't even say goodbye, he just handed me a flashlight. "If you hear anything strange, don't go into the nursery." Then they left. I thought he was joking. I was wrong. At first, everything was calm. I curled up on the couch, opened some chips, and scrolled my phone. The baby monitor sat on the table next to me. Old-fashioned, grainy black and white video with a faint buzzing sound. Every few minutes I glanced at it. She didn't move. Just lay there like a perfect little doll. So still it was almost unnatural. Then, at 9:17 p.m. the screen flickered. The soft hum stopped. I looked. She was awake. Eyes wide open, staring straight at the camera. Not crying, not making a sound, just staring. Unblinking, frozen. Then I saw something in the corner of the screen. A tall figure behind the crib. Barely visible, like it was standing in the shadows, watching. I blinked. The screen glitched, and the shadow was gone. But the baby? Now she was smiling. Not a normal baby smile. It was stretched, stiff, wrong. Like she was copying one from memory. Then the audio kicked in. Not crying, not babbling. Just a low hum. A tone that vibrated through my chest. It didn't sound human. I stood up. Something was wrong. I could feel it. I grabbed the flashlight and headed upstairs. Every step up felt heavier. The hallway was colder than before. Dead silent. The nursery door was slightly open. I pushed it with 2 fingers and peeked inside. She was asleep again. Perfectly peaceful. But something in the room had changed. There was a mirror now. Tall. Antique. Freestanding. Angled just enough to catch the entire crib in view. I stepped inside slowly. The air felt heavy. The crib was there, the baby, the rocking chair. But when I looked in the mirror, I wasn't there. No reflection, just the room. I waved, nothing. Then, something moved. In the reflection, a figure appeared behind me. Tall, pale, its limbs too long, face blank, like skin stretched over bone and stapled in place. I spun around, nothing. I looked back. Now the mirror was empty again. I backed out, heart pounding, shut the door, rushed downstairs. The monitor lit up. The baby was awake again, sitting in her crib. And this time, the figure was there with her, not in the room, just in the reflection. It stood right behind her, leaning forward like it was whispering into her ear. Then the closet door in the reflection began to open. Creak, creak, creak. I grabbed my phone, called the mom. No answer. Called the dad, straight to voicemail. Then, a loud crash upstairs. Something heavy had fallen. I jumped up, keys in hand, ready to run. But before I could move, I heard footsteps on the stairs. Slow, heavy, getting closer. I turned toward the hallway and froze. Someone was standing at the top of the stairs, wearing my hoodie, holding my flashlight, even had my phone in their hand. But their face, smooth, no mouth, no eyes, just skin. It raised one hand and waved at me. I ran. Out the front door, into my car. Parked 5 blocks away, I finally caught my breath. Then my phone buzzed. Voicemail. From the mom. "Hey, sorry we missed your call. If she starts acting weird, just cover the mirror with a blanket. It's old. Sometimes it brings out strange behavior. She's sensitive to it ever since our last sitter vanished." That was the 3rd one this year. My stomach turned. 3rd? Then she added, "We didn't want to scare you, but the mirror's from an estate sale. The woman who owned it, she died looking into it. Froze in place, eyes wide open. And ever since we brought it into the house, well, the nursery's never been the same." I looked at the baby monitor again. The figure was still there. And now, it was holding something. A phone, my phone. Then something worse happened. A new app appeared on my screen. Live nursery feed. I didn't download anything. I tapped it. The video showed the baby's room, the mirror, and someone standing in front of it. Me. Only I wasn't moving. Just standing there, frozen, staring, smiling. But I was also in the car, watching myself. The figure behind me tilted its head. Then the screen flickered. 2 versions of me. One blinked, the other didn't. And then, my phone camera turned on, by itself, facing me. And behind me, in the back seat, a tall shadow, smiling. Story 3. I picked up a call from an unknown number. I should have let it ring. It started with the call. Unknown number. I almost didn't pick up, but something made me swipe. Static. Then breathing. Then a voice whispered, "Don't go home." I laughed at first. Thought it was a prank. I hung up and went inside. My dog Mocha didn't greet me. Strange. She always runs to the door. I called for her. No response. Then I heard the jingling of her collar. But it wasn't coming from the living room. It was coming from the hallway. The hallway that leads to the basement. The door was wide open. Pitch black inside. I never leave that door open. "Mocha?" I whispered. The jingling stopped. Then my phone rang again. Same unknown number. I picked up. This time, the voice said, "Don't look at the mirror." Then silence. Goosebumps crawled down my arms. There's a mirror at the bottom of the basement stairs. An old one. Tall, freestanding. I got it at an estate sale years ago. I walked toward the basement door. Slowly. The air felt thick. My dog's collar jingled again, now louder. I flicked on the basement light. It didn't work. I stood at the top of the stairs, shining my phone flashlight down. There at the bottom, the mirror, and in it I saw someone. But it wasn't me. They were wearing my clothes, but standing still. Head tilted slightly, smiling. I stepped back. My phone buzzed again. Unknown. This time the voice said, "It sees you now." I slammed the basement door shut and locked it. Ran to the kitchen, heart racing. That's when I noticed Mocha in the backyard, pawing at the glass, whining. How did she get out? I unlocked the sliding door and let her in. She ran straight to the basement door, sat there, staring, growling softly. My phone buzzed. A new message. From an app I didn't recognize. Live feed activated. I didn't install anything. I opened it. It showed a grainy video feed of my hallway. Then it moved. Now it showed the basement. And that mirror. Only now, the reflection was walking. Up the stairs. Toward the camera. Toward me. I closed the app. My lights flickered. Mocha whimpered and ran upstairs. I followed her, slamming the door behind me. I locked myself in my room. I should have called the cops. But what would I say? There's a reflection in my basement, trying to be me. My phone buzzed again. A voicemail. I played it. It was my voice, breathing heavy, sobbing, saying it's already too late. I threw the phone across the room. Then I heard the basement door open. The creak echoed through the house. Mocha barked once, then silence. I opened my window. I was ready to jump. But then, footsteps on the stairs. Slow, measured, then knocking. On my bedroom door. 3 taps. Then the voice. My voice. Let me in. I stayed frozen, praying, trembling. The knob turned. Locked, for now. Then, nothing. Silence. Hours passed. I stayed curled on the floor, clutching a lamp like a weapon. Morning came. Sunlight filled the room. I opened the door. No one there. I crept downstairs. Everything was normal. Basement door closed. Mocha sleeping peacefully on the couch. My phone was back on the kitchen counter. No app. No voicemails. Nothing. Had I dreamed it? Then the landline rang. I don't even use it. It's there for emergencies. Never rings. I picked it up. The voice whispered. Answering was the emergency. Click. Then silence. I booked a motel for the next few nights. Far away. No mirrors. No landlines. But that night, as I showered, I heard knocking. Not on the door. On the mirror. 3 slow taps. I flung the curtain open. Empty room. Steam everywhere. Mirror fogged up. The words began to appear, written from the other side. Answer it. I didn't sleep. I threw my phone in the motel pool the next morning. Bought a burner. New number. Didn't matter. As soon as I powered it on, Same black icon appeared. It opened without me touching it. There was the house, the hallway, and now the door was open. He had left the mirror, the reflection me. He was walking the house, picking up my old clothes, smiling, wearing them. Then that night, I woke up in my car. I didn't remember falling asleep. The mirror on the motel dresser was gone. In its place, a rotary phone, ringing. Mocha was nowhere. My keys, missing. Then I looked down and saw something worse. My reflection in the car mirror was gone. I reached up, my face, wrong. My mouth felt stiff. My smile didn't stop. I screamed, but no sound came out. Only a low, vibrating hum, like the baby monitor, like the basement phone, like the house was inside me now. Then my phone buzzed. Voicemail transcription. You've been chosen. You're the mirror now. Someone has to watch. Someone has to reflect. You answered. My reflection blinked. I didn't. Now I'm stuck, trapped inside the hallway camera feed. Every night I stare back at myself, and every night I get closer. Because here's the truth. It's not a haunted house. It's a haunted identity. And once you see yourself in that place, the place sees you back. Then it waits, and waits, until it doesn't have to, until it becomes you. They say never answer calls from unknown, but no one tells you what happens when the call isn't coming from outside. It's coming from who you were supposed to be. Story 4. We played hide and seek. My friend never came out. When I was 9, my best friend Elijah went missing during a game of hide and seek. We were playing in the woods behind my grandfather's cabin. He was it. I was hiding, but he never found me, and I never saw him again. At least, not really. Let me back up. It was a summer trip. My parents dropped me off for a week. Just me, Grandpa Joe, and Elijah. The cabin sat near the tree line, far from town. No cell service, no neighbors, just wilderness. Elijah was the only kid around my age for miles. We clicked fast, spent days building forts, climbing trees, pretending we were explorers. Then, on the third night, we played hide and seek right before sunset. We took turns. Then it was Elijah's turn to count. He turned to the tree, covered his eyes, and started counting down from 30. I ran into the woods to hide. I remember the cold feeling in my chest, like something was watching me already. But I figured it was just adrenaline, kid stuff. I found a hollow log, curled inside, and waited, and waited, and waited. But Elijah never came. After maybe 20 minutes, I came out, laughing. All right, you win, give up. Nothing. I called again. Still nothing. It wasn't like him. He wasn't the prank type. I ran back to the cabin, but he wasn't there. Grandpa hadn't seen him either. We searched the woods for hours. Then the next day, then the police came. Nothing. No signs of struggle. No blood. No trail. He had vanished like smoke. The town assumed he got lost, maybe taken by an animal. But I always knew it wasn't that. I didn't know how I knew. I just felt it. He didn't get lost. He was taken. 10 years passed. I never went back to the cabin. Not until last month. Grandpa Joe passed away. Left the place to me. It was still exactly how I remembered it. Same creaky floorboards. Same pine smell. Same cracked window by the kitchen sink. I thought maybe going back would bring me peace, closure. I was wrong. The second night, I heard something outside. It was just after midnight. Windless, silent. I was brushing my teeth when I heard leaves crunch behind the house. I turned off the faucet and listened. Crunch, crunch, pause, crunch. Then a whisper. Sound you. I froze. The voice? It was Elijah's. I ran to the back door and flipped on the floodlights. Nothing. Just trees. Dark shapes. No movement. I told myself I was imagining it. Sleep deprived. trauma. Memory playing tricks. But the next morning, I found something near the tree line. A shoe, caked in dirt. Old, faded, and kid-sized. And written on the side in Sharpie, barely visible. Property of Elijah. That night, I dreamed I was back in the woods. Only it wasn't a dream. I was standing by the old hollow log. Something whispered behind me. I turned and woke up in bed, drenched in sweat, lungs burning, heart pounding. But my feet were dirty, mud on the floor, and a pine needle in my sheets. I hadn't dreamed it. The next night, I set up my phone by the back door with a motion sensor app. If anything moved out there, I'd catch it. 3:17 a.m. The alert went off. I played the footage. Static at first. Then shapes. Then clear as day. A child stepped into view, wearing the same clothes Elijah wore the day he vanished. He looked up at the camera, smiled, but something was off. His eyes were solid black. His smile was too wide. His skin, pale, cracked like dry paper. Then he whispered, "Your turn." The video ended. I should have left then. I should have burned the cabin down and never looked back. But something compelled me to stay. Something deep, pulling. The next evening, I went into the woods, not to hide, to find him. I followed the trail behind the house, deeper and deeper than I'd ever gone as a kid. Eventually, I found something new, an old shed, made of rotting wood and covered in moss. I'd never seen it before. It felt wrong, like it had always been there, but hidden. I stepped inside. It was dark, damp, smelled like wet dirt and something rotting. Carvings lined the walls, childish drawings, stick figures, trees, eyes, and one word over and over again, still playing. In the center was a mirror, not glass. It looked like black water, rippling even without wind. And I saw him, Elijah, standing inside it, wearing the same muddy clothes, same cracked skin. But his mouth wasn't moving. He wasn't breathing. And yet I heard him, in my head. I hid too well. It liked that, so it kept me. I stepped closer. My reflection began to melt, warp, twist. His didn't. Then a hand reached through, grabbed my wrist. Cold, thin, too long. I yanked back, and something tore. I ran, fast, didn't look back. When I got to the cabin, my wrist was bleeding, but not like a cut. More like something had leaked out of me. A feeling I still can't explain. Like a part of me was gone. It's been a week. I left the cabin, but he followed. I see him in reflections. TVs, windows, my rear view mirror. He's not Elijah anymore. He's what's left of him, still playing the game. And now it's my turn to hide. I don't know the rules. I don't know how to win. But I know what happens if I lose. Every night, my phone buzzes at exactly 3:17 a.m. A message. Found you. Then the screen glitches. And I see myself standing in the woods. Eyes black. Smiling. Just like Elijah. And behind me, always behind me, something taller. Something that doesn't blink. Something that never stops playing.